In 2025, one of the most spiritually and globally transformative astrological events will be the rare Saturn-Neptune conjunction in Pisces. This combination hasn't occurred in Pisces since 1847, and it's bound to shake the spiritual and psychological foundations of society. Saturn symbolizes structure, laws, time, and hard-earned wisdom. Neptune, on the other hand, governs illusion, spirituality, dreams, and collective consciousness. Together, their energies are paradoxical but deeply instructive. When these planets meet in the fluid, mystical sign of Pisces, we experience a breakdown of rigid systems and the emergence of new visions. This could signify a global movement toward unity, compassion, and spiritual awakening. But it might also expose the fragility of existing institutions, especially those built on deception or outdated ideologies. People might begin to question their belief systems, religions, and even governmental ideologies. The blending of Saturn's realism with Neptune's dreaminess invites a collective re-evaluation of what's real and what's fantasy. It's likely we'll see the collapse of delusions, not just personally but societally. Expect revelations in politics, media, and religion. Truths long hidden may surface. On a more personal level, this conjunction will push individuals to manifest their spiritual ideals. It's a time when people might commit to meditation, healing arts, or a more purpose-driven lifestyle. However, with Neptune's foggy influence, there's a danger of being swept into cult-like movements or conspiracy theories if one isn't grounded. The key in 2025 will be to balance idealism with pragmatism. Dreams are important, but under this alignment, only the ones with structure and discipline will survive. It's a year to build the future we imagine, brick by spiritual brick. Perhaps the most buzzed-about transit is Pluto's long-term journey through Aquarius, which began in 2023 and continues its influence well into 2044. But in 2025, Pluto begins to dig deeper into this progressive air sign, intensifying its transformative effects. Pluto rules power, control, death, rebirth, and deep psychological change. Aquarius, the sign of innovation, rebellion, technology, and humanity, challenges hierarchical structures and invites communal solutions. This is a generation-defining transit, comparable to the Industrial Revolution or the rise of the Internet. In 2025, Pluto's presence in Aquarius accelerates technological evolution, pushing boundaries in AI, space travel, and cybernetics. However, it also brings critical questions. Who controls this technology? Is it being used for freedom or surveillance? Expect power struggles in the tech world, a potential reshuffling of global leadership and innovation, and rising voices demanding digital rights and privacy. Social movements will grow stronger. Pluto in Aquarius empowers grassroots activism, challenging elitism and top-down power systems. We may witness breakthroughs in science and medicine, but also dark revelations. Pluto exposes what's hidden. It's likely 2025 will see protests against monopolized tech empires or revolutionary changes in how societies organize resources and information. On a personal level, individuals are encouraged to embrace innovation while staying authentic. It's a time to join like-minded communities and work toward future-oriented goals. The shadow side of this transit includes detachment, digital addiction, or utopian thinking that ignores real-world complexities. Still, for those willing to confront uncomfortable truths and commit to ethical progress, Pluto in Aquarius offers an opportunity to rebuild the world in radically new and more equitable ways. In 2025, the solar and lunar eclipses occur along the Aries-Libra axis, continuing a cycle that began in 2023. Eclipses act as cosmic catalysts, often speeding up changes that were already underway beneath the surface. Aries represents the self, independence, and action, while Libra governs partnership, harmony, and diplomacy. This polarity demands balance between personal desires and collective harmony, and in 2025, these themes come to the forefront in both personal and global relationships. The Aries eclipses will push individuals to break free from codependency, people-pleasing, and situations where they've lost their identity. We may see people end unbalanced relationships or launch solo ventures that were long delayed. This energy favors courage, self-assertion, and bold new beginnings, but it also carries a risk of selfishness and conflict if not managed with awareness. On the Libra eclipse side, there's a collective need to restore fairness and justice. We may witness shifts in legal systems, new policies surrounding equality, and diplomatic efforts on a global scale. Peace talks, treaties, or major alliances could form or dissolve, reflecting this celestial demand for harmony. The eclipses may bring dramatic changes in global alliances or reveal hidden truths in political partnerships. For the average person, these eclipses signal a powerful time to reassess who you are within your relationships, romantic, business, or social. If you're feeling pulled between independence and connection, 2025 is the year the universe gives you a shove in the direction of authenticity. The lesson here is not to choose one over the other, but to integrate both, learning how to be fully yourself while still creating balance and cooperation with others. Jupiter, the planet of expansion, abundance, and higher wisdom, shifts into Gemini in 2025, amplifying themes of communication, learning, and information flow. This transit is a cosmic invitation to broaden intellectual horizons, but it also comes with risks of overstimulation, misinformation, and mental burnout. Gemini is curious, agile, and social. It wants to know everything and tell everyone. When Jupiter, the great magnifier, enters this sign, expect an explosion of ideas, media activity, and societal debates. We may see an unprecedented rise in online content, digital publishing, and AI-driven communication platforms. This period will favor those who can express themselves clearly and adapt quickly. Businesses built around education, marketing, and media are likely to thrive. On the darker side, Jupiter in Gemini can also inflate gossip, conspiracy theories, and superficial learning. It's crucial to distinguish between knowledge and noise during this time. Educational systems may undergo radical transformation, possibly leaning into decentralized learning, gamified systems, or virtual reality classrooms. Language learning, podcasting, digital storytelling, and short-form media might become even more popular than ever. People will crave quick access to knowledge but may struggle with deep focus or retention. With this in mind, discernment becomes a superpower, knowing when to speak, when to listen, and what deserves your attention. On a personal level, Jupiter in Gemini rewards those who are curious, adaptable, and articulate. It's a fantastic time to write, teach, network, and explore new hobbies or perspectives. Travel, especially short-distance and educational travel, will also be highlighted. In short, 2025 could feel like a mental superhighway. For better or worse, ideas will rule the world, and the voices that rise above the chaos will be the ones who bring both clarity and depth to the table. As Uranus continues its unpredictable journey through Taurus, its impact on the global economy, environment, and value systems intensifies in 2025. Taurus, being an earth sign, represents stability, money, food, and the natural world. Uranus, the planet of rebellion and innovation, doesn't sit comfortably here, but its disruptive presence is necessary. Since 2018, we've already seen economic upheavals, shifts in how we view currency, crypto, and changes in agricultural practices. In 2025, these trends escalate significantly. Expect further volatility in global markets. Sudden crashes, booms, or restructuring of financial institutions are likely. Uranus is all about decentralization, so governments may lean into digital currencies, universal basic income models, or experimental economic systems. It's also likely we'll see more tech-integrated farming, climate crisis solutions, or eco-innovations that change the way we grow, buy, and consume food. Taurus rules comfort and security, so Uranus here can feel jarring, uprooting what once felt stable. Personal finances may be affected unexpectedly. People might be forced to redefine what wealth means, moving from material possessions to emotional fulfillment, freedom, or sustainability. On the Earth side, environmental anomalies like earthquakes, unusual weather patterns, or breakthroughs in green energy could dominate headlines. For individuals, Uranus in Taurus is a wake-up call to let go of outdated attachments, especially around money, routines, and possessions. Those who embrace flexibility, invest in future-forward solutions, and stay grounded in their values will not only survive, but thrive. Uranus doesn't destroy for fun, it liberates. And in 2025, that liberation may come from shaking loose what no longer supports real, lasting security. Chiron, often called the wounded healer, continues its transit through Aries in 2025, bringing a collective and individual opportunity to confront wounds related to identity, courage, and personal autonomy. Aries is bold and headstrong, often pushing forward without hesitation, but Chiron's presence here exposes the cracks behind that bravery. People may realize that their confidence is a mask for deeper insecurities. Societies may see an uptick in mental health conversations centered on identity and belonging. This transit challenges individuals to heal issues around self-worth, abandonment, and the fear of taking up space. You might find yourself revisiting moments in your life where your voice was silenced or your power was dismissed. On a broader scale, this influence supports movements that advocate for personal empowerment, authenticity, and radical self-acceptance. Chiron in Aries teaches that true strength comes from vulnerability. It's not about being the loudest or the most assertive, but about owning who you are, even the broken parts. For people who have been afraid to start something new, claim leadership, or show their face to the world, 2025 provides a healing gateway. Therapy, coaching, personal development, and somatic practices can all flourish under this influence. Collectively, we might see the rise of healing leaders, those who step into power not because they want to dominate, but because they've faced their own darkness and want to guide others out of it. In a world where aggressive ego has too often been mistaken for confidence, Chiron in Aries rewrites the narrative. To heal the self is to empower the world. Saturn's retrograde in Pisces during mid to late 2025 invites a collective pause for reflection. Pisces governs dreams, illusions, and spirituality, while Saturn, the planet of structure and karma, seeks boundaries. When retrograde, this energy becomes internalized, urging individuals and societies to review their spiritual beliefs, escape mechanisms, and emotional habits. People may feel a strong pull towards spiritual practices, like meditation, journaling, or even isolating themselves to process emotional confusion. But the flip side could be disillusionment. Where have we been deceiving ourselves? Have we mistaken fantasy for faith? Saturn pushes us to face uncomfortable truths, even if they dismantle long-held beliefs. This retrograde can also bring up issues from the past, unfinished business, spiritual regrets, or karmic lessons that demand closure. It's not a time for building new dreams but for cleaning up old emotional debris. Those who resist the process may feel lost or overwhelmed, while those who embrace introspection can gain clarity and deep inner maturity. Ultimately, Saturn retrograde in Pisces asks, what spiritual structures actually support your soul? In 2025, clarity won't come from fantasy, it'll come from disciplined inner work. As 2025 unfolds, financial astrologers are paying close attention to the alignments between Venus, Uranus, and Pluto, which could signal major shifts in how wealth is generated and distributed. Venus, the planet of value, teams up with Uranus in Taurus, suggesting sudden changes in currencies, stock markets, and how people perceive security. Expect to see volatility in cryptocurrency, discussions around universal basic income, and perhaps even the collapse or rebirth of traditional financial systems. The way people earn and spend money may undergo revolutionary transformation, and innovators will benefit most. Those rooted in old paradigms might struggle. Pluto's role in Aquarius ties into collective wealth and technological innovation. We may see AI-driven investment tools, decentralized financial systems, and alternative currencies take center stage. If 2024 was the year of financial hints, 2025 becomes the year of financial disruption and reinvention. This year favors people who embrace both intuition and innovation in money matters. The cosmos suggests it's no longer just about saving. It's about aligning with a more conscious, forward-thinking approach to abundance. 2025 isn't just another year, it's a cosmic pivot point. With powerful transits from Pluto, Uranus, Neptune, Saturn, and Jupiter, the entire energetic fabric of our lives is being rewired. Themes of rebirth, truth, innovation, and spiritual healing will dominate the collective experience. For those paying attention to astrology, this is a chance to align with the stars, not just predict outcomes. It's a time to get clear on what matters, release outdated patterns, and embrace the unknown with courage. Whether it's through technology, spirituality, relationships, or finance, the universe is asking us to evolve. Astrology in 2025 doesn't promise certainty, but it offers guidance, depth, and cosmic insight to navigate a world in flux. The more we tune in, the more empowered we become. Let the stars be your compass, not your crutch.